Today we are going to be talking about The Walking Dead, The Flash, The Good Place, and Mr. Robot, so stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. And my name is Matt Hay, and with me I have Mr. Joel Cunningham. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well, sir.
It's good.
I've been in TV catch-up mode for a while. The last 4 days of my life have been dedicated to my brother-in-law getting married. So
congrats to him.
Yes, congrats to him, Chris.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I have been trying to catch up, and I'm super behind. Today was a day filled with just fun.
You have a couple days off now, and it's like you're done. Basically, because there's just so much coming out, and it's good. It's great. We love all the content, but just so much TV, man.
Yeah, if it wasn't working 50 hours a week, it's crazy.
So if anybody wants to pay for us to do this full time,
yeah, hey, we'll take that.
We'll take that. Yeah.
So
good stuff.
Yeah. Other than that, you had a chance to watch pretty much everything you wanted to, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Okay. I mean, there's a couple shows that we're watching that we're not even talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably catch up with them at some point when we feel like it's good enough to kind of bounce back. And I'm thinking that's kind of what we're going to be doing moving forward, because we're still watching so much content.
Right.
You've been the Arrows out there. We've got The Gifted. I'm still kind of trying to watch The Good Doctor when I get a chance. And then this weekend, we talked about this last week. We were wrong, or we misstated. The premiere.
I know. I was so disappointed.
For Stranger Things is this weekend.
So last week I was like, oh, Stranger Things season 2 comes out. I'm going to watch it all weekend. And then the next day I was like, wait, I thought, oh no, it's next weekend. Yeah,
right. So we did have a big premiere this weekend.
Yes.
Which was The Walking Dead.
TWD.
And so now we've got that one we're going to be continuing on with. So it's just like, man, overwhelmingness.
I know. It's craziness.
Yep.
But I kind of like it a little bit.
Yeah, we need a term. We need to come up with some terms for the tidal wave of television shows. That when that happens, there's got to be some terms for that. But
we got to figure it out. It's probably out there somewhere. But
Tubepocalypse, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. What are a couple of quick ways that people can get connected with us? G Money.
Well, G Money. Nobody ever calls me that. I wonder why.
I know. I just said it.
It's all right. So the best way to get connected with us is probably our website, which is realreviewmedia.com. That and our Facebook, which is facebook.com/realreviewmedia. We post a bunch of stuff up there. We'd love to get connected. Also, we have our Twitter and our Instagram, which are both at realreviewmedia. And then for sure, love to hear your thoughts on some of these TV shows. Maybe, feel free to let us know if there's a show that's really good that we're not watching, and we'll do our best to get to it within a couple months. But you can email us at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Do it.
Yes, that's what we're going. So we're going to start with the big one, right?
Yeah.
The ground swelling.
The Walking
Everybody wants to hear
Dead.
about The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, you guys.
Yes, go ahead.
Season 8, episode 1.
I can't believe we're 8 seasons into this. I remember when this started. You know what I mean?
It's 6 episodes, though, in the first season.
Yeah.
Super short.
I wish they were doing a Game of Thrones and kind of winding things down, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think right now their plan is, and even if they wanted to, they could basically end this series and then start next year on a new series just in the same universe.
They could.
Different characters.
I mean, that's kind of what we're doing with Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So
just kind of for this episode, I think you had different thoughts on what I had this premiere.
I did.
I liked this episode. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I liked the fact that we got basically unity, everybody, all the good people, from the kingdom, Alexandria and Hilltop are all coming together. There's no dissension on that side. Everybody's together. You got Rick, who's awesome again, who's being very leadery, but he's also kind of joint tasked with Ezekiel and Maggie. Yeah. And they're kind of like the three, but and then they're basically like, hey, we're doing this. We got to take out Negan. That's basically what we got to do. So they have this plan. You kind of see it. It was, and this is one of the parts where I was kind of like, I didn't care for it. It's kind of chopped up the action a little bit.
Yeah.
But
and they kept bouncing to those shots of Rick in another environment and Rick in a dream world.
Right. They ended up, attacking. We don't know what happened to all the people, all the saviors that were inside the building. We know, Negan's trapped in a trailer with Gabriel. But the one part that I'm not entirely sure what they're doing is it's not. So we're seeing like what could be considered like a flash forward of sorts.
Right.
Rick is got like short hair, super gray beard, and Judith is older
and using a cane.
Right.
And Michonne and him and Quarrel are still, around.
Judith is older, and
it's almost like a dream world, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
And at the end, she said they're doing some sort of festival celebration.
Well, they were
thing.
playing Queen in the background, but it was like a hoedown version of like Queen.
It's probably like a modern. I'm thinking what they were doing is like, oh well, they've started recording music again,
right?
And that's like a modern recording.
Maybe I don't know, but anyways, and then there was another thing that they were very unclear on.
Yeah.
It almost looked like Rick after the very premiere of season 1, after he'd been broken down at the very end by Negan.
Yeah, I didn't like those. I didn't like those.
It was very short. You didn't even get any context. It was basically just close-ups of his face.
Close-up of his face. So
and his like eyes were like super red, like he'd been like bawling.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where that fits into the story. So I'm not really sure, unless they have this really grand plan what they're going to do.
The thing is like, I'll give you like a clip like that you can do. You can do a like flash forward type thing, and that eventually ties in, like they've done that with Breaking Bad in the past. They're doing that with Better Call Saul. I'm fine with doing like a story that's happening on its own timeline that eventually meets up with the main timeline.
Right.
But like they're doing like 2 or 3 of them, you know what I mean? Because they're doing that, they're doing the dream vision thing, and they're also doing him in the truck with Lauren Cohen's character and what's his name? The Ezekiel. Yeah. I mean, so they're jumping to like that shot while the fighting is happening.
That was a flashback to before the raid.
Right. So it's like you're doing all these jumping of timelines to different places, and it created a very incohesive feeling episode to me. Because there's times where it's like, okay, are we supposed to think of this nostalgically? Like maybe he's dying. And that's one of the flags that kind of feels there. It feels like maybe they're setting up for Rick to die, which we know that Walking Dead likes to pretend and then kind of not actually do it. So it feels like they're setting up flags for that, but like that's really like, oh, it's this dreamlike kind of surreal pretty thing, and then it's Rick that's like in pain and sadness, and then it's Rick that's like leader, and then it's like everybody joining together and setting up all these. It just felt very, I didn't know what thematically I was going for there. Is it about unity? Is it about strength? Is it about fighting? Is it about, this happy place that they're at? I just didn't know.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. I got it, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm sure they have something planned for this, and that's kind of was my thinking for it.
On a scale of 1 to 10 of importance, not rating, but importance, that's like a 4 to me for that episode. It's not that important, but the other things that frustrated me is that I really felt like I could sense the limitations of the budget with this episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, in frustrations of like, them also with the story too. I'll mention the budget stuff in a second, but a good example of the story is like, so they're shooting people from like a far distance. They're like assassinating people that are like on posts and
those are the lookouts.
Right. Why didn't they just do that to Negan? Like, why are they having to do this like machine gun fire when they obviously have snipers that can shoot people from like a really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. They could have ended it early.
Right. Yeah. They could have ended it immediately, but because they're trying to play this out for,
they're trying to play it out, and they wanted to like get the saviors to like relinquish their
But that's the frustration for me. But it's like, the way that this battle is happening, it's like they can only have so much shooting and so much explosions and so many people on screen at a certain amount of time. And it's like, if you're trying to make this as epic as you are, it's like, where are all of Negan's forces?
Yeah.
It was basically all of them just standing in a corridor shooting guns at each other. And that's not like a war to me. That's just a battle.
Right.
And I'm they built this up as like a war, like, multiple war fronts, people coordinating. And it's like, where was this inventiveness and this ingenuity any other time in the film to
I think
come up with this military structure and planning?
I don't think what we saw was the war. I think that was just like, hey, they're starting some stuff. I think, or the Rick and company were starting some stuff, and I think the war is something that's just gonna play out over the next. But
it's true. I was expecting a big, like, grand epic battle, and this was like, like a large scale, fight, and this is turning into like a slow burn battle.
Yeah, So,
which it felt limited because of budget. Because it felt like if the budget had been there, they probably would have been battling a multi. Because Rick and Negan are always talking about how they have all these big. Well, Negan in particular is always talking about like I've got all these forces and all this power and all these abilities, and it's like you're not showing me that. You're just talking, and maybe they're trying to play that up. Like maybe that's him just talking, but it's like I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I was frustrated because of this stuff.
Oh, I was not frustrated. Yeah. See, you get frustrated with some of these things. I'm just kind of like, oh, we'll see what happens.
I do. Yeah.
But I
it's like they built up everything, and then the big payoff for building up everything was basically we have guns, we have cars with armor, and we managed to lead a bunch of zombies to attack you in your headquarters. Like that's their whole build up. That's their whole, like, everything that they, it's like, yeah, they did a couple coordinated things of like, sneak attack type stuff, but like that was their whole big plan. It's like, that's not impressive to me.
I don't know. I like the lead up to all that, but that's the only thing I really agree with you on is they should have just taken Negan out like right away. I don't know why they waited.
No, I don't know.
Rick said he was going to kill him.
Where did they
just kill him?
It's like when did they learn how to make explosives like this? You know what I mean? And why don't they just make an explosive and throw it at Negan or something like that? Like,
I don't know.
There's any number of things they could have done to actually just kill this guy.
Yeah.
And they're playing it out.
I don't know if they're trying to be careful because Dwight was there and he's kind of been helping a little bit like with the information, but I don't know. I think it was a good start, a lot better start than what I felt like at the end of the first episode of season 7.
Yeah.
And I think it could really just get better from here because season 7 was kind of draggy a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. If I were to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
Okay. That's I'd put it like a 6.5,
okay.
7, like in that area.
I gotcha.
A little bit lower, but I'll keep watching it obviously because it's Walking Dead. But
yeah,
I was just like, come on, guys, like this just feels like blah to me. So
no, I gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next show, and this is a show that we have fun watching. It's not as serious as The Walking Dead takes itself, but it is The Flash, and this is episode 2 of season 4.
Yes.
And so this one I enjoyed. It's still on that season 4 train of how it premiered. Of this is fun Flash again.
Right.
We're not having a lot of this really silly stuff happening, but it's fun. It has some corny moments, but like fun corny. You know, like that fits in the vein of what the Flash typically is.
Except for
Iris.
Iris. Yeah. Which, come on, Iris. Like,
that's never changed.
It's not her as an actress. It's her character.
Yeah. Yep.
How self-centered can you be in this episode,
So guys, I understand why Iris was frustrated, but she did not react appropriately.
No.
She basically got mad at Barry for saving the world.
Yeah.
She got mad at Barry for saving the world. For
specifically saving the world, but additionally, within that, saving her life.
Yeah.
So she's literally like, I'm mad at you for leaving me to save my life.
The world is exploding around them.
Yes.
And Barry leaves to save everybody.
Right.
And Iris is like, you left me.
Exactly. And she's mad because she had, the way that she explained it, had to have awkward conversations with relatives. It's like, I'm sorry, but he just saved your life.
Right.
He saved the world from being destroyed.
I know.
You can be like, that was really frustrating at the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's fair to be mad at him for that situation. He didn't cause that stuff to happen. There was no alternative.
Sure. He was not sensitive when he came back to maybe like having that conversation.
Right.
But at the same time, outrageous, Iris. Iris, you're very frustrating, Iris.
I was super frustrated by that.
Stop it.
I did like a triple take, like, what?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So other than that, though, I enjoyed the episode. I mean, I thought the villain was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, I feel like they are engaging that idea of there being sort of maybe like a, I forget what I was calling it, like a group, a cadre of evil villains that they haven't really had in the show before. They've always had like an antagonist, and then he might have like a henchman or two. where it feels like with this one, he showed that board,
Yeah.
and it's like we're trying to find all of
Like,
these
to find the
people.
people, yeah.
Right. And so it's like, it's kind of cool in the sense that and it's not like another speedster. It's a guy that's just trying to defeat Barry with his own powers and put together like a cadre
Yeah.
of baddies.
This feels very season 1 to me still.
Yeah.
You can't match that magic, I think, with this show, because part of season 1 was the Barry and Iris will they won't they kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And there's that like there's always that thing in every show when they want you to, like, it's like the Jim and Pam thing,
Yeah.
you're like, you want them to be together but they're not together, they stretch it out. That's all over. All that stuff is done.
Right.
So
Until Iris gets her memory wiped, or until she dies
Yeah.
and they bring her back from another dimension.
and then Iris becomes a speedster.
Yeah, exactly. This is comic books. They retcon and they change things like that all the time. I'm still rooting for, it'll never happen, but Caitlin and Barry. I still
Right.
think they'd be great.
I
So
know.
it's actually feeling more and more like Cisco and Caitlin. I mentioned that at this point.
Yeah.
But
Cisco, yeah.
it's nice that Cisco's getting like a romance.
I
sort
like
of
that
arc.
too a little bit.
He's never had
with
that.
Gypsy.
Yeah, he's always been kind of the loser, like, I've always wanted a girlfriend,
Yeah.
which is funny, but at the same time, it's nice that he gets an opportunity
Yeah.
to kind of maybe find some love. It's obviously not going to end well for him, I'm sure, but
I like that. I like their the 111 day thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
It's kind of funny. Their explanations of the different worlds, it was pretty cute. It reminded me of like Rick and Morty, actually, but where's HR? That's where I'm still wanting HR.
Did you watch the trailer for next week?
No.
I think we're gonna get him.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've been wanting my HR.
Yes.
I've been missing HR.
I know, HR is
I'm like, get rid of the Iris stuff, bring in the HR
yeah,
stuff.
and it'll be interesting if they call him HR or Harrison.
Yeah.
Because HR was just what they called him last season. The first 2 seasons were Harrison Wells. You know, so
they had that really cool scene too in this episode with the grenade explosion. I thought that was really fun.
My only problem with that was there's like supposed to be fire and explosion, right? Because there's gunpowder in there. It's not just shrapnel.
I don't know.
Maybe
I know
it's a
that
specialized grenade.
Well, I do know the shrapnel is a big issue, but the big thing that I would also say is that a lot of people get killed from explosions not because of the shrapnel, but because of the pressure.
Yeah.
The air pressure creates a pressure wave that basically kills you, shocks your brain, stops your heart, everything like that.
I was just expecting like fire, and he was just grabbing the shrapnel.
But I think,
cool,
but I think a grenade primarily is about shrapnel.
Okay.
I'm not positive of that, but I'm pretty sure that's because they're made to affect a small little area and shoot the but I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about that, but I thought it was an effective and kind of fun scene.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked the episode.
The suit was funny. I'm liking the little adjustments.
The one thing I don't
overall.
get, so like he has like Iron Man powers now? You saw that he shot something out of his hand.
They didn't really explain. I thought that was odd, but I don't really mind it.
Yeah.
Because it's like an improvement. Like I might, this is totally sidetracking, but like in Spider-Man Homecoming, I had problems with it because they were modeling after another film, but I'm fine with like him slowly upgrading the suit and making it better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, he was like shooting things out of his hand. I mean, he's got, who knows what's in there now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that stuff is, and I hope they talk about it later on, because I like the idea, and that was one of my gripes with the last 2 seasons, is that the first season he was like kind of gaining new powers. Like that's when he learned to do the lightning bolt throw.
Right.
When he do the super punch and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And actually, season 2 may have learned the lightning bolt throw. Anyways, I can't remember.
I don't remember. I think season 1 was more about him moving through things, right?
He did that, and then the super punch thing too. Like he also learned to run on water. Like I want him to learn new cool things.
Yeah, the super punch is like his most ultimate power. He doesn't use that very often.
Yeah.
But that's like he has the ability to basically, once he's at his optimal, I believe
it's like Mach 9 or something.
99% of the speed of light. He can punch somebody at 99% of the speed of light using the Speed Force, which is
craziness.
Just insanity. So it's like basically a speed of light gun.
Yeah.
Speed of light rail gun. Caitlin was interesting in this one. Mm-hmm. They're definitely kind of going still with that whole like not wanting to turn into her
she's
evil
more
self.
in control.
Right. And I'm fine with her struggling back and forth with kind of her alternate persona.
I'm done with Killer Frost. So if they can keep Caitlin in control for the most part, and then like that just be her battle, but not like get too out of hand like it's been the last 2 seasons, I think I'm good with that.
Yeah. I'd like to see her find a balance with that eventually, where it's like she can, because no other character that I recognize in the show has that issue where when they turn into,
Did they talk about that on the show?
I don't know.
I feel like someone was like, how come how come you turn like evil? Nobody else has like an evil doppelganger. Like,
I don't know. It seems like it would be Cisco or something, but that's kind of like, it's like, really, you guys, you're just creating some dramatic tension here.
Right.
So
I don't know.
Maybe she gets rid of her powers, gives them to Iris. Iris becomes bad, and then Caitlin and Barry get together. Maybe that happens.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not.
It's possible. I guess I'm still
Probably
Team
not.
Patty Spivot though.
She's Patty Spivot. She's pretty much in the nether regions of the Marvel universe at this point.
She's not around anymore.
Yeah.
But
what if she's one of the bad people? No, I'm just kidding.
She's not. She's not.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is
wait, what's your rating?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. 8.5.
Yeah, I give it 8.3.
Okay.
I got actually 8.2. I got really upset at the Iris stuff.
Yeah, she is my negatives on that one too.
Completely distracted me.
Anyway, Candace Patton's a great actress. I just didn't like the character.
Again, nothing against her as an actress. Yeah. It's purely just the way that they're handling her character in the show.
So, anyways, let's move on to the next little fun show that we like to watch, and that is The Good Place. Mm-hmm. This is
it's such a treat
watching
this show.
And I've been saying the last couple episodes, like I've been kind of bummed out because I binged it like super fast, and I like just watching it all together.
Yeah.
And the last couple episodes, just watching one at a time in the 26 minutes that I have or whatever it is, it's kind of been like, oh, I want more to it, you know?
Yeah.
And this one I felt like paid off a lot more than the last couple have for me. I like the last two episodes, but I think this one paid off a little bit more. I had some moments that were pretty dang funny.
The trolley incident.
The whole trolley stuff was super funny, and Michael just torturing Chidi. And
and his reactions to it of just like pure shock and horror.
And speaking, the guy with the red boots was the bad guy in The Flash.
He was
this last week.
Yeah, he played it was such a funny cameo.
Yeah.
And it's like they did it in such an effective way because it's like you can tell. I knew that he was torturing him.
Yeah.
Like it was very obvious that that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Because he did that like little smirk before he started the scenario up the first time. But it was just so funny how he kept making it worse and worse and worse. He's like, okay, I would never kill one person. Or like, I can't do any harm. And then it's like, now explain it to their family. And the little girl walks up to him and says, is my papa going to be okay?
Yeah.
And it's just
the
like,
evil man hit him with the trolley.
He ties it into the trolley, and he's got the boot.
I left right away at the beginning because they're trying to go over this scenario, and Chidi's like presenting it, and like, Eleanor and Gianni are figuring it out.
Yeah.
And they're like, Michael, what do you think? He's like, well, I have it figured out. If you hit the 5 with the trolley and stick a blade out the one side and decapitate the one guy.
Yeah, he's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm doing it again. Okay, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
People are good. Okay, wait, people.
They flip it over.
What is it again?
Bart Simpson from The Simpsons. Yeah, people equals good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. It was a good episode. And I enjoyed it. The shrimp dispenser at the end was
that was
solid.
Classic. Yeah. I like how, and I've said this, it's like the characters are growing in a way, they're learning, but they're not deeply changing. Like their personality hasn't completely changed.
Right.
Kristen Bell's character, she's grown and she's less selfish now.
Yeah.
But she still gets excited about shrimp, an unlimited shrimp buffet type thing. And I love that. It shows good writing that they're able to continue to find ways to show their character coming through and being humorous in different ways.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was hilarious. The trolley incident stuff was just like,
it was ridiculous, really outrageous.
Yeah, and we've got now, I believe, what is like an official relationship that's kind of blossoming between Tahani and Jianyu.
Yep.
I will say like Jianyu and Janet a little bit better, but there's no future for that.
Right,
so fine, go ahead, put those two together.
And Janet has no thumb, at least. She loses a thumb.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm guessing maybe the fact that he took her from the actual good place and stuck her into the bad place.
Yeah.
That's maybe why she's starting to kind of go a little haywire.
Possible. It's like
wonky and stuff.
They're saying that she's going haywire. She's glitching because she's operating outside of what she's supposed to be doing.
Right.
But I don't know.
Right. She was operating outside of that because they're trying to make her have human emotions at times, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what the reasoning is behind her going wonky.
I'm not sure because it seems like they're setting it up for this one. Because she shows up, she's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm glitching. I'm causing these earthquakes, and I'm doing all these really bad things, and bad things are happening."
Yeah.
Michael's freaking out, and then he's like, "But anyways, how are you?"
Yeah, yeah. She's so positive. She's really nice. Yeah,
yeah. So we'll see. I enjoyed this one a lot. I'm giving it a 9.
Yeah, I'd give it probably about the same.
9er.
Let's stick with that too.
Cool,
I'm excited to see more of it. I'm really looking forward to each episode. I'm like constantly getting, like waiting for it to like upload. I'm like, go.
Yeah.
To my DVR stuff.
The next one there, Joel, is something I haven't caught up on yet fully.
I'm gonna have to tiptoe around this one.
Tiptoe around it, but this one is Mr. Robot Season 3.
Yes.
Episodes 1 and 2. This has been kind of long waited because this one's been a little overdue, right? So they've taken a long time to get this third season out.
Yeah, but it needs it. This is one of those shows that I'm very much fine with them taking their time to get it right because it tells such a intertwining, deep narrative. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of deep thematic elements. There's a lot of betrayal type stuff and mystery elements of not, who's doing what and why. So I'm totally fine with them taking their time with it. Yeah. This season so far, I've really enjoyed.
Oh, good.
I thought that they ended things very oddly and ambiguously.
In the second season?
Yeah. Okay. Just in the sense of where they were going to go with it. Because they did some stuff where it's like, well, you're talking about different elements of like, phase 2 and like, what does that mean? And people are dying and the world is pretty much collapsed at this point. So it's like, what's left? And then you get, there's the epic, I don't know if I should spoil the ending of season 2.
I haven't seen it. So, I mean,
there's sort of a big thing that happens right at the end of season 2 that's kind of like, what? Like, you're going to do that to that person?
Okay.
And so I was just kind of left with the sense of like, well, where are they going to go with this now? And the thing that could be frustrating, which I was concerned about, is the aspect of Elliot's schizophrenia.
Sure.
And how that plays out with the alternate characters and alternate versions. That battle that he's having almost with himself over time can kind of get boring and bland. And they've done a really good job of kind of refreshing that at the beginning of this season. So it's not as much, because a lot of season 2 was about him struggling with sort of that internal schizophrenic monologue type thing. So this season is very much so far about power and power dynamics and who has it. And I think that's, if I had to say anything about the show, that's really what the show is about, about power, what that does to people, if it corrupts them, if they abuse it, if they have it or when they don't have it, the idea that you can have it and still not have it and vice versa. And they've done a very good job of tiptoeing around certain aspects of relationships, like romantically with some of the characters and stuff, which is kind of, you're getting a more semblance and idea of that. And they introduced a really a fun person, Bobby Cannavale, who I like. I've seen in a number of different projects. I know him from Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a really good loose cannon.
Okay.
The kind of guy that can be like really friendly to your face, but he's going to punch you if you don't say exactly what you want him to say. Right. And he's kind of he's a really smarmy, almost like lawyer kind of guy, but you don't really know what exactly his role is, but he's got somewhat tied up into the Dark Army. And so it's been interesting to kind of see that play out. And I've really, overall, like I said, I've really enjoyed it. And there's definitely been some very strong, like, no more of this. That is done. This is in. There was a couple loose ends from season 2. One in particular that I'm actually really glad that they've kind of like very definitively done away with. It was, I don't want to mention who, but one of the characters in particular felt very just like, I don't know why you're here. I don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of around to do things with and around. And that's done. Yeah. Like that's completely done. And so it's been nice in that sense. And they're telling, I will say this, and I don't want to talk about it too much without risking spoiling, but they're tiptoeing almost into a more sci-fi type, potentially type theme and idea. And I'm weirded out by that. I'm not sure how I feel about it at the moment. They're hinting at some stuff that kind of happened at the end of season 2 that ties into this beginning of the season. And you see some things and they say some things and you're kind of like, really? Is that like it kind of fits the show because the show is so weird and ethereal at times. And like the whole episode that was taking place in his mind, that was like a sitcom type thing, like crazy stuff like that can happen, but it just seems maybe a bit too far-fetched unless they really slowly tiptoe into those deeper waters of
Yeah.
like sci-fi type elements.
Interesting.
So yeah, but I'm
Cool.
excited to see where it goes. I'm
Yeah.
excited to kind of see how things end and how things go for these characters.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Another one of those shows I got to try and catch up on. But like,
Yeah.
if you were to rate 1 and 2,
8.5.
okay,
Yeah.
just kind of an average. of
Generally,
the two?
yeah, I would average both between 8 and 8.5.
Okay, cool.
And so that's kind of where it levels out at.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's actually going to be the last show that we talk about here on our Tube Talk segment.
There it is.
Again, get connected with us at our website, realreviewmedia.com, and find all of our social medias, Instagram, Twitter at Real Review Media, Facebook.com/Real Review Media, and then YouTube.com/The Real Review. And we're going to try and get some more videos up there soon. Trailer reactions are a fun thing for me, so I will try and do that whenever I can. And then we'll go from there. But Joel, you got anything to add?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, hey, it's been real.
It's been real.